Here's me face. Hello lads and lasses, welcome to the channel. The intention of today's video is to do a bit of a re-review of the FMS 112 scale Suzuki Jimny. Looking back in the channel, I've done a review some while ago with no voiceover, just music and gesturalizing, and I think the car, actually being one of my favourite shelf queens, deserves probably a bit more than that. So I don't think this car gets the attention that it deserves. So that's today's video. So the car we've got today is a FMS 112 scale licensed Suzuki Jimny, and it comes in this green-ish colour. So it comes in this lovely box, already well known to all FMS fanboys such as myself. Although this is slightly bigger than, say, the other boxes, the other cars the boxes that they come with, sorry. And please don't bin these boxes because they are lovely. So if you want to travel with a car, want to take it a bit further away, you put it in the box, and it keeps it safe and free from scratches. So that is the box. Dimensions wise, not sure if the camera can pick up the dimensions, but if not, you can Google it and you'll easily find the dimensions and weight of the car. I'm not entirely sure. I would have to read from the the box itself. So a lot of people wonder why this particular model is as expensive as it is. So it's about $249, more or less the same thing in pounds, 200 and something, depending on where you go and buy the car. But this is a fully licensed Suzuki Jimny, 112 scale. So every time that FMS sells one of these, they have to pay a selling fee to Suzuki as part of, I'm assuming it's part of their contract, which is what happens when you sell a licensed product. So it's a 112 scale, loads of details on the car, as you can see. So what FMS has done with this particular model is that they spared no expenses and they went to the most infinite detail, copying the real time Suzuki Jimny. All of these doors open and you will find a full interior with, say, the back. You can move backwards and forwards the rear doors. You've got like a little storage compartment here. The doors can be a bit fiddly to open, to be honest, but you can eventually manage to open the door, and it has, I'm not sure if the camera can pick it up, but it has a full scale interior, and even the seats, you can move the seats backwards and forwards, and you can recline the seats as well. So, and then that's the amount of detail that this particular model has, that to a degree justifies the amount of money that FMS asks for the model. And in all fairness, it's one of my favourite trucks. So obviously I'm a bit biased to FMS, and I'm a bit biased to my own trucks because obviously I bought them as I like them, and it's one of my favourite shelf queens. I do take it out, I do put it in the mud. Today is not going to be a running video, it's more like a review of the model, because if you go back on the channel you can see 3 or 4 running videos of the car. So the battery compartment is in the engine bay. They've replicated a few items on the engine bay, and it uses a 7.4, if I can take it out, obviously it uses the standard FMS 7.4 380 milliamp battery. And some of you may think, well, it's a very small battery for such a big and heavy car. It is, but you can still take a good half an hour or a bit more running time of this out of this battery. So it's really not that bad, to be honest. and obviously the bigger the battery, you haven't got much space in there anyway, because they've created some items in the engine bay as the real model has. So there's not actually much space. So that small battery is more than enough for this particular model to run approximately half an hour to 45 minutes, depending on what you do and how you do it. Needless to say, this is not a fully fledged rock crawler. It hasn't got the profile for a rock crawler. The ground clearance is quite low as the real model, and the tyres are not rock crawling tyres. They are a replica of what the real tyres are. And even on the undercarriage of the car, FMS has replicated the suspension arms, the axles. This is a 2-speed gearbox with, and they've kind of like replicated a transfer case. Even the exhaust system is replicated on this model, and again, it's one of the reasons why this car costs a lot of money, due to one, the licensing, and second, the amount of detail on this particular model is just insane, absolutely insane. You've got your standard FMS controller. A lot of people don't seem to like these. I love these controllers, to be honest. I absolutely love these controllers. They are so small. I've got small hands, if you haven't noticed by now, but and that's the reason why I love these controllers, because they can fit perfectly in my hand, and I can do one hand driving and then obviously film with the other hand using the gimbal for that effect. I think even the 110 scales, if they would come with these controllers, I would still be happy. I love this particular controller. So you've got all sorts of adjustments, including the ESC adjustments, where you control your drag brake, what sort of battery, so on and so forth. You'll have to read your manual in order to learn how to do that. And you can adjust your steering and your throttle. So, and the way it works is when you open the bonnet and you put the battery on, there's a little on and off switch there, and the lights came on, so that means the car is engaged. Very similar to other previous models, you've got the light controls here on this little button here, and on this particular model you have the normal beams, and you've got the indicators, which on other models I would have considered to be a bit annoying, but because this is a replica of the real deal, I don't find it as annoying as other FMS models in terms of indicators, that is, and obviously you've got the indicators there. So you have a group of front lights and rear lights, all functioning lights. So if you click again, you have the high beams with the indicators, and if you press again, the fog lights come on, and the hazard lights, the same thing, and at the back you'll have your fog light, your brake lights, and your indicators. And when you reverse, you also have a reverse light. Okay, so as I mentioned before, this car comes equipped with a 2-speed gearbox, where this is, you control the gear selector. This is the gear selector. You control the gearbox through here. Push it backwards, it's first gear. Push it to the middle. Okay, first gear, and push it all the way is then second gear. I thought there was a neutral in here, but it doesn't. So in terms of electronics, this car is equipped with a very good set of electronics. It doesn't emit that annoying like buzzing like the older electronics versions, and low modulation is beyond belief on a model like this. So pretty much you can, this is first gear, and this is how you can modulate your acceleration. Obviously I'm exaggerating a little bit, so you can actually go a bit slower like this. So it's just bonkers, absolutely bonkers. So in terms of steering and throttle modulation, is absolutely bonkers, perfect. In terms of crawling performance, it will be horrible, because this is not a rock crawler, as I said before. It comes with skinny tyres. They are very soft tyres, but they are very skinny, and there's not much grip surface on these tyres. They are a replica of what the real tyres are, so they will not crawl steep slopes or anything like that. But what this car does brilliantly is trails in the forest or something like that, inside. Unfortunately, I can't test this on my back garden crawler course, because obviously the crawler course was made for smaller trucks and rock crawlers, and not necessarily this one. But yeah, so for a running video, you can see previous videos I've done on the channel for this particular car. But I think this particular model is just, in terms of detail, is just insane. It's mind-blowing, the amount of effort that FMS went through to get this model out, and to have that much detail as it has. It's just mind-blowing, and that's the reason why this is one of my favourite FMS trucks. So yeah, here we go. I hope you've enjoyed the video. I don't do any scripts for my videos, I'm afraid, so I improvise as I go. So here we are. Hope you've enjoyed. Put your comments on the comment section. Let me know what you want me to do going forwards, any mods, anything like that. One point I forgot, the only thing on this particular model that I'm not the biggest fan, it does the job, but I think this car would have been perfect if it would have come with oil shocks. It comes only with friction shocks, and it's a bit on the bouncy side, especially if you got it in second gear and you're doing a trail in the forest. It becomes a bit bouncy. However, for what you're going to use the car, i.e. not rock crawling, it's not a deal breaker. The car still looks absolutely great. Whatever you do and however you do your videos, this car will always look great, either sitting on a shelf or just outside in the forest doing some trails. So hopefully you've enjoyed. Put your comments on the comment section. I'll put a link in the description on how you can get one of these through FMS, and I'll see you soon. Cheerio!